Today I'm doing the top 5 worst sequels in the game. To make it a bit easier, because the list can be out to like, I don't know, 1,000, we're going to do top 5 direct sequels, so that would mean the second one in the series. It's a lot easier to pin down that bad one, because of course there's games like Sonic 06, Bomberman Act Zero, and so on that are just terrible games in their respective series.
Number 5. Star Wars Force Unleashed 2.
If it just wasn't as if Force Unleashed 1 was fantastic or anything, but it was solid controls, fun gameplay, cool set pieces, and a decent story tacked on that made me excited for 2. Except 2 didn't have any of that. The set pieces fell flat, the story was weak as could be, the game lasted a total of 4 hours, and it had no real drive and it felt really rushed. 2 wasn't just a disappointment, it was a pretty bad game in general.
Number 4. Perfect Dark Zero.
Perfect Dark Zero was a colossus of it's just the biggest fuck up Rare's ever done. Perfect Dark 1 was funny, it looked good, it had a great single player, and Zero had no personality, terrible controls, ugly graphics, and not worth anyone's time. It was one of the worst hyped launch games I've ever played, and easily one of the worst sequels I've ever played.
Number 3. Godfather 2.
It wasn't as if I hated Godfather 2. I actually enjoyed it, but it was clearly weaker than 1 in just about every way. The finishers were cool in 2, but that's about it. 1 had a better city, more to do, tighter controls, and hell, I think the graphics on the 360 PS3 version were actually better than Godfather 2's graphics. It was a disappointment, and while not complete shit, didn't live up to 1 at all.
Trackstra Day.
Number 2. Lost Planet 2.
Purchase your track.
Let me get this out of the way. Lost Planet 1 wasn't amazing, but it was a really solid title. A very cool concept with, these really cool mech parts and great graphics. However, 2 was coming out and promised these big boss battles as 4-player co-op, and it looked really interesting. And instead, we got this shitty shooting, boring big bosses, 4-player co-op was okay at best, and the Zero story with no real drive to actually play it. It had no reason to waste your time with it. It was just so boring and just a really horrible game in general.
It's just different. Epic beats.
Number 1. Devil May Cry 2.
Okay, there's not a lot of games that make me go into my rage mode, but this is a big old pile of mega shit. I mean, it is by far this game pissed me off like no other game. I used my hard-earned cash, well, like it was birthday gift money, because I was a kid, but I was a kid, and I went to go pick this up, and I love Devil May Cry so much, the first one, and the great controls, and the fun combat. It was cheesy, but it was really cool, and I picked up 2, and I was like, what happened? What is this? And then I realized Capcom sat back and they were laughing their way to the bank. And I guess they knew I would have my revenge one day, because I sent them like 100 straight up hate letters to Capcom.com at UK whatever. And I was like, I'm going to ghost ride your souls when you die, and I'm going to eat them. And then I even sent a picture of me eating souls. And then it was really scary stuff. So they made Devil May Cry 3 because of that, and they fixed everything that was wrong with 2. But real fast, in case you haven't played 2, which is a great thing, here's what was wrong with it. It was just terrible graphics, awful storyline. Dante somehow turned from this cheesy one-lining retard to a fucking emo mute. And that's worse, because he doesn't say anything, and you just hate him even more. And then the guns were shit. Why? I don't know. The lock-on system sucked major balls, and the ending was terrible. Who gives a shit? Oh, let's just fucking end him. He's going to hell. What the fuck? We're never going to know what happened. He jumped into hell. And the whole entire game just sucked. So yes, Devil May Cry 2 is definitely my #1 for the biggest piece of shit sequel that I've ever had my beautiful little hands touch. It was horrible. It was horrible. Horrible. But you can thank me for Devil May Cry 3, because I made that happen.